Hello and welcome to Clipping In. It's Sunday the 13th of April, and do you ever get the feeling you're enjoying a weekend but somehow you just get the sense that there's something missing, and to make it complete you really need some magnificent medieval ecclesiastical architecture up close, and that will make it feel complete? Yeah? You too, eh? Well, this weekend's no different, and so today's ride is going to be devoted to my Abbey Habit. Followed my usual route from East Byley, Tong, Lower Wortley to Leeds, and even with the traffic I think I can hear the distant call of plainsong. And here we are, Kirkstall Abbey, one of the great Cistercian houses of the north. The Cistercian order really had a monopoly on industry and rents, tariffs, all the lot in the north of England. There was the Furness Abbey, that was up in what we now think of as Cumbria. I know when there was a global cooling, I think in the 12th and 13th century, they, because they had monopoly on the wool trade, or at least a percentage of it, their coffers were absolutely bursting with gold, because the demand for wool went through the roof. Fountains Abbey, which is, let's spin this for a sec. Fountains Abbey is up near Riccall. They, they were given grants of land by the post-Norman conquest warlords, and they had Fountains Fell, which is a 2,000-foot hill mountain near Pennygent. Takes its name from Fountains Abbey. They had the mineral rights to that place, and they were they'd found that there were seams of coal near the top at 2,000 feet, and even to this day you can see remains of bell pits where they dug down to these seams, and then they built a limestone track that you can still use today on a mountain bike that goes down to Lytton and then off from there. So yeah, the monastic houses, they behaved like monopoly corporations really after a while. It's quite good when you've got agricultural rights, rents, mineral rights, and you can control the destiny of people's immortal souls. This is Lawnswood, and around here there's no need to feel down. University Hall of Residence Country. You might be able to see on the right Boddington Manor. That's an enormous complex of student residences. Back lanes for a little while now. Adult Church on the right. Got a little bit of history to it too. Nice broad avenues, trees coming into blossom. Lovely. Heading towards Old Woodley, the Leeds stockbroker belt. We're pulling away from Leeds now. I'm heading in the direction of Scarcroft. Then after that it's Collingham, Boston Spa, Tadcaster, out onto some lanes. Promising looking day. It won't be as warm as yesterday. Yesterday afternoon it hit 19 or 20 Celsius. Today the forecast is 11 or 12. Out here on the plain it might reach 13. But it's pleasant. More than pleasant. I've just passed through Ullerskelf, which has Nordic origins written all over it. I'm heading in the direction of Carewood and Wistow. Alright, welcome to the flatlands. We're coming into Wistow now. This route really from Tadcaster, Ullerskelf has just been following car there on the left. Just a minute. Yep. Has been following the wharf, River Wharf, but then somewhere around Carewood the wharf joins the Ouse, and it's just the Ouse, one big river, keeps going. So when a magnificent Cistercian house at Kirkstall is not enough, what I like to do is add in a Benedictine house at Selby. Let's go and have a closer look. I've got a service in progress, so I shall get no closer. Isn't this wonderful? A working sort of cathedral church. Selby Abbey. Coming through the village of Riccall now. The claim to fame of this place is that in 1066, when the Norwegians invaded, they went up the Humber, they sailed their long ships, they got as far as Riccall on the Ouse and made camp. They saw off some hastily assembled English armies and were about to sack York. York did a deal with them, paying them off, don't sack us. And they started swapping prisoners for money and so on. Meanwhile, King Harold, whose army had been on the south coast expecting an invasion from the Duke of Normandy, when he got word of this, he took his army northwards, double quick time, and that resulted in the battle at Stamford Bridge, which was a resound beating for the Norwegians. And just to finish that story of 1066, after the Norwegians and the treacherous brother of Harold, Tostig, had been defeated at Stamford Bridge, the Duke of Normandy heard about this and promptly invaded across the channel, landing at Pevensey. Got a bridgehead, and that resulted in the infamous Battle of Hastings, 1066 and all that. And I suppose, in a roundabout way, that resulted in the post-conquest partition of land and the monasteries getting a grip. There we go. It's been a blockhead wind really from Riccall all the way back to Ullerskelf and Grimston Bank. What I'm doing on the way back, slightly different route. I've turned off, I've gone through Stutton, I'm heading to Bramham, ultimately then run along the Roman Ridge, Thorner and back to Scarcroft that way. Hopefully there might be a bit of shelter with the trees. I've got just short of 80 miles on the clock and I'm outside Adel Church. I'm going to just do the summing up here and call it a day, because the wind's really been picking up and I can't do one-handed filming in those kinds of gusts. And also now I've got the delights of 4 or 5 miles of pretty heavy traffic to cross Leeds. This morning it was a doddle, but now everybody's up. But I think this ride's going to be somewhere low to middle 90s. Probably a little bit far from me where I am at the moment, but you know, it's like everything else. The main thing now is get home in one piece, get home uninjured, and then pick it all up again next week. I do think what this ride's proven is the variety of cycling in West Yorkshire. I mean, when I go west, I get into that, you know, fantastic Pennine country, the mountains like Home Moss. I go south, I'm in all that great gravel country between Wakefield and Barnsley. You go north, you've got the Yorkshire Dales and limestone country. And then east, today, all this great stuff. So there's all kinds of cycling and just so much good adventure to be had. So as I said, that's all for now. I'm going to sign off, and I will obviously see you in the next edition of Clipping In, out on the Yorkshire roads. Bye bye.